Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan, and the topic of this 10-minute moan is yet another child at another Scottish school telling teachers they're an animal. I'm getting treated as one. So this story, it's a follow-up. I've already done a video about a month ago when there was a kid in the school. It was the second one in the last month or two that's identifying as a wolf. And we've got another story, but this time it's a primary school child. So the story's covered in a few outlets last night. I'm using the Scottish Daily Express for reference in this one, just because it was at the top when I hit Google, okay? And their headline is worryingly, laughingstock claim as third Scots council allows kid to identify as an animal. A third Scottish local authority has confessed that it is allowing at least one primary school pupil to identify as an animal as they proclaim to have species dysphoria. A third Scottish council is allowing at least one pupil to identify as an animal as teachers were warned it could make them in their school a laughingstock. 3 local authorities have now confessed they have kids who have claimed they have species dysphoria. I'm actually starting to feel non-human because humanity's just burst, right? The condition has been labelled a fantasy by some experts as children attempt to push the boundaries of what is acceptable in the classroom. The news comes amid concerns about the spread of gender ideology in Scotland's educational establishments as pupils are taught about a wide variety of genders. Done a video just the other day. It's SNP government now tell us there's 24 genders in Scotland. Secondary school pupil in another council area has been allowed to identify as a wolf, with the Daily Mail now reporting a third case in a third different local authority. Earlier this month, it emerged that a primary kid in another part of Scotland was also identifying as an unspecified animal. The latest council... Oh, and do you know why they don't tell us what animal some of them are presenting as? Now, this is great, to protect their identity, right? See, if you're in a school with somebody that's howling at the moon, you kind of figure out who the wolf is. But we're not even allowed to know what species some of these people with species dysphoria have got, just in case to identify them. The latest council involved in a species dysphoria case declined to disclose the animal type, with the name of the local authorities involved left unnamed to protect the identity of the children involved. But it's hard. But this has led to stark criticism of schools for allowing such incidents to go unchallenged. Dumbartonshire-based clinical neuropsychologist Dr. Tommy Mackay told the Daily Mail, vulnerable children with additional support needs will probably be more prone to falling for these fantasies, and therefore more likely to be made a laughingstock. Also, there will be other children and young people who will realise they can try to make their teachers in classroom a laughingstock by trying out these ideas. We have someone talking sense. He added that there is certainly no scientific support for any such condition as species dysphoria, which he called a socio-cultural phenomenon. The council involved in the latest case said that no special arrangements have been made yet to accommodate kids with species dysphoria, with no specific advice given to staff, other than to follow the usual processes for being inclusive. God give me strength. So just to make them feel not inclusive, just to don't make them feel bad. Don't watch you don't upset their feelings, right? The new trend has seen growing numbers of youngsters insisting they are actually an animal and taking on a persona of creatures like foxes, dragons, birds, snakes, sharks, and even dinosaurs. Last year, a school in Aberdeenshire was forced to deny rumours that a pupil was identifying as a cat and had been given a litter tray. Scottish Tory MSP Megan Gallagher called for common sense approach to these situations when they occur. Chris McGovern, chairman of the Campaign for Real Education, added, schools should not be aiding and abetting any child's mental health crisis. The Us for Them Scotland parents group said it was completely insane for teachers and council education officials to allow pupils to self-identify as animals. Self-identification has become a controversial issue north of the border in the past few years, especially when it comes to gender. Under Nicola Sturgeon, the Scottish Government attempted to force through guidance which would allow people to legally change their gender without the need of a medical certificate from the age of 16. Scottish Greens MSP Maggie Chapman even suggested that 8-year-olds could do this. It is understood there is no official Scottish Government guidance specifically to support those with species dysphoria. Here endeth the article. Now, I'm kind of thinking, how long is it going to take for the Scottish Government to have a quango set up on this? You know, a charity, something to look after all these vulnerable kids that think they're animals. Don't laugh, don't think, Craig's been stupid. Who would have thought 20 years ago we had things in place to suggest girls could be boys and boys could be girls? So it seems like a natural progression for me that if I was sitting in the classroom going, I'm a boy, but that other person over there with one of them is turning up at school dressed as a girl and we've now to call them Sally, right? And I think, well, I'm kind of happy being a boy. I don't want to be a girl. But he gets quite a lot of attention now that he's a girl. And lots of special things for school. You can even use a different toilet. I kind of think I'll have some of that. Right? I'm going to be a rhinoceros. Right? So, if you actually sit down and think about it, and try and put the mind of a kid and how kids' minds work and look at other people getting treated different, then we probably shouldn't be surprised that we've got cats in schools and wolves and dinosaurs. How can you be a dinosaur, man? What was the other one? There was one there that was an absolute belter and I thought, a dragon. Aye. I'm going to be a dragon. Right? So that's not even a species, because dragons don't exist. Dinosaurs don't exist, but they did it at least at some point. So, you know, you could be a Tyrannosaurus Rex, I suppose, if we're going to think, yeah, we better watch all these kids with this species dysphoria. But a dragon, I kind of was lucky that when I was at school, the belt was just getting taken out of schools, so I never suffered that. Oh, this face you probably thought I had it a few times with the age of me. However, I'm kind of thinking if I turned up at school one day and says, Miss, my name's not Craig anymore. It's Cephosaurus and I am a dragon, right? I'd have get scudded, right? I genuinely would have get scudded. I'd have get one right across the forehead, right? Corporal punishment or none. I'd have get scudded. If I turned up at East Fulton School in Linwood and went, Mrs. Anderson, I'm a dragon, right? I can't sit in these seats anymore because I'm a dragon. I need the thing to stand on, a big bit of wood, right? Scud, right out of class, right? Now, we can't do that these days, right? But what we don't need to do is put up with it. And as I've said before, right? Let's take 3 mental health issues. Let's say suicide, bulimia, and this species dysphoria, right? Would you tell somebody with bulimia that they're fat because they think they're fat and they're that like that? No. The last thing anybody would do, any professional, any normal thinking person would agree with this person's mental illness that they think they're fat. You'd be like, no, don't be daft. You're actually very thin, right? That's how we deal with that. You see somebody that's suicidal, that's convinced herself the world would be a better place without them. Would you say to them, man, you kind of got a point, mate. Crack on. No, they don't. You tell these people that the world would be a worse place without them, because there's people that love them, right? So why do we tell people that are wanting to be cats anything other than, don't be stupid, you're not a cat? Because that's how we deal with other mental health issues. We'd say, no, we don't affirm their mental health illness. We tell them the truth. But you want to be a cat, you want to be a dinosaur, you want to go for Ali to Sally. We now tell folk that's all right. We make allowances for them. And as they said in the down here, what was it they said about inclusive? That we don't have anything specifically. I can't see it now. But we basically we'll deal with it to make them feel inclusive like we would with any other thing. Because there's no guidelines in place. There we go. There's no specific guidance given to staff other than to follow the usual processes for being inclusive. Come on in, you wee cat. Right? Do us a favour, Mr. Wolf. Don't pee in the corridor again. That would be quite nice. Is this only in Scotland? It's getting absolutely mental. But anyway, I can't go on about this much longer because I'm going to end up like slapping my head quite a bit because it's just driving me insane, as you could probably tell if you've listened for the last 11, 12 months. So, enjoyed the video? Give it a thumbs up. If you've not already done so, please consider hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell. Please leave your comments below. This will be fun in the comment section, believe me. But most importantly of all, unless you're the type of person that demands that everybody else should bend the way they think and ignore normality because you feel you're something different from you really are. No you, but
everyone else, have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.